We have had a lot of questions and comments about these stairs recently, possibly the ugliest feature of this house. What are we going to do with them? Are we going to demolish them? Are we going to paint them? Are we going to do all sorts of things? And so we thought we'd talk a bit about that in today's video, answer some of those questions and some of the other comments that cropped up when we were doing the front door removal and the new enclosure to protect us from the weather. So let's do that.
So we did a video on this a couple of years ago, but things have changed since then, as they always do.
Oh, they do.
And what's interesting is as we started this project, we're like, oh, maybe this stairs project should go up the list a little bit so that we have a nicer entrance to the property.
I just can't wait to take a sledgehammer to it.
Right? So let me quickly recap what we said last time and what has changed. We can't really easily get rid of the stairs. They're on the plans for the building, and it would cost too much and it's too difficult to get planning permission just to remove some stairs. But more importantly, we actually like the feature, not the current representation, but the idea of this staircase up to a really nice front door. And you see this a lot when you drive towards our house along one of the roads. And so if we took it away, it would kind of look weird. Even if we blocked it up and put a window there, the house would be missing a front door, because none of the other doors are really suitable as front doors. This staircase is also solid stone, so removing it isn't as easy as just taking down the actual steps. It's all stone and it makes up part of the wall of the house.
And it's been here since the house was built back in the 1930s into the 40s. We actually have an old photo of this corner of the building, and you can see the staircase there looking a little bit nicer than it does now. I think all the paint has washed off, some of the concrete has chipped off as well, and you can actually see some of the stone underneath. Or maybe we did that as part of some investigation some time ago, I don't remember. So the stairs themselves are made of stone, but the handrail, which is probably the most ugly thing about it, is just made of red brick that's then been rendered. And so that is going to be the first thing to come off.
So let's give you a quick rundown. This is not all set in stone, it's just some ideas of what we're currently thinking.
Pun intended.
The horrible handrails, balustrades, whatever you want to call them, they are definitely coming down. We have been looking locally at what everyone else has, and they have just metal, wrought iron style railings. Then on the side here, we're going to chip off all the old cement and lime. Some of it's slime, some of it's cement. And we're going to use a technique that is called lime bagging. We've never done it before. I haven't found very many videos of it, but in essence, it is somewhere between lime rendering or lime plastering and lime washing. You point between the stones to fill them with render and to support all the stones. And then you kind of come along and just rub a bit of lime render, lime wash over it. So you can still see that they're stones, but everything's white. Google it. You'll find some images.
It's like a textured white stone effect.
Yeah, but it's not just lime washing.
No, sure.
It's got
a very thin layer.
Yeah, thin layer of
render.
Yes, exactly. There are some sections where we won't be able to do that. So when we fix all the stairs, which you can talk about in a minute, there will be some inconsistencies on that edge. So we'll have to do a strip along the top, I think also along the bottom and maybe on that side. So maybe we just do like a border around all the bits. And then in the middle, we'll do this bagging technique. And it's so that you can see the stones, but it doesn't have to be a very nice finish. And it's really good for waterproofing, protecting the stones, but without having to do the whole render and all of that stuff.
So that's some of what we're going to be doing to the sides and to the handrail, but we're also going to make some changes to the steps themselves. And one of them is kind of fundamental, and then one of them is more decorative. So one of the big issues with these stairs is all the steps are at different heights, and all of them are taller than a comfortable stepping height. So I'm still a man in my youth, and I don't have bad hips, bad knees, bad backs and all that kind of stuff, but I really struggle going up and down these stairs. They are very uncomfortable, particularly when we are working out on the deck but working on something inside at the same time and we're going up and down all day. It's really painful, and it's kind of throws you out of balance a bit as well if you're carrying something up or carrying something down. So we're going to fix that. In fact, I can show you something that we've been working on, which is a bit of a SketchUp plan that shows how some of the steps are inconsistent and what we're going to do to try and even it out. So we'll quickly jump into the computer and show you that. Here is a SketchUp model that I've put together of the existing staircase. I haven't filled in all the sidey bits and I haven't put the handrail on because all I really wanted to show you was the steps and the issue that we've got with them being too tall. Now, I haven't drawn each individual step at its different height, but I've taken the average height of the steps, which is approximately 190 millimeters. And there's 13 steps, and that gives us a total height of 2.685 meters. And so that's the situation, but the steps are too tall to be comfortable to walk up. So what we really want is somewhere between 150 millimeters and 170 millimeters. So we are 20 millimeters too tall for the recommended step size. And that doesn't sound like a huge amount, but it actually makes a really big difference. So that's the situation in terms of the steps. And now we can look at what we might be able to do to fix it. So what I've done is mock up two different versions, one with the minimum recommended step size of 150 mil and one with the maximum recommended step size of 170. So the one in the front here with the red, that is with a 150 mil step size, and then the one in the green is the 170 mil step size. And essentially what we're going to have to do to fix these steps and get them into that desirable range is modify each one of them by a different amount so that we end up with uniform steps that are within the right range. And so if we go for the 170 mil rise, we'll end up with steps that look like this. We'll essentially be adding 2 steps at the bottom and having to dig down a little bit. If we went for the minimum 150 mil rise, we'd be adding the amounts in red here, and we'd end up adding 4 steps to the run. And that extra run there works out to almost 1.4 meters, whereas if we use the taller steps, we only add about half a meter in terms of extra run and just 2 steps. So the green one in the middle is what we are almost certainly going to do, and that will give us a good compromise between getting a good height but not adding too many steps and not extending the staircase too much more. So then the question is, well, how are we going to do this? Well, all of this green stuff here is essentially going to have to be some kind of cement or concrete mix, something nice and hard and solid that we can shape to be these different heights. And so the plan I've got at the moment is to build some kind of formwork out of shuttering ply, cut it so that we've got the steps that are all the right size, the right rise and the right tread depth, fix those in place, and then working from the bottom up, essentially pour in place and level off each step a few steps at a time. So we'll have to put some shuttering on the front face as well, just so that we can contain all of the mix that we put in there. But that, I think, is going to be the easiest way to get these steps in line without having to demolish the whole thing and rebuild them from scratch. That being said, this is just an idea. If anyone has a better idea, please let us know down below. Okay, back to the film.
And a visual demonstration of what we're going to do once everything is corrected and they are all even and comfortable is we will paint or lime wash probably the front of the steps. This is a piece of tile. This is not what we're using. It is just for demonstration purposes. But we're hoping to find something. We haven't found it yet. Some terracotta pavers, tiles, something that will go on each of the treads, we think. So I've been looking locally again, and what seems to be common here is single pieces of stone or marble. I don't want the really slippy stuff.
Yeah.
We already have marble in this old walkway and it's really slippy when it rains. So we want something with a matte finish. We'll have to see what we find. If we don't get terracotta, we'll find something else. Something terracotta with white upstands with black or dark brown metal railings. We will be reinstating a porch cover, probably with 2 pillars. Not sure yet. Probably from timber, painted to match the new door.
but essentially replacing the awning that was there.
Yeah, but with some more decorative pieces. So there's one of our neighbours, who's the builder that built this house, built their house, and they have one of these awning covers but with posts. So we're kind of taking a little bit of inspiration from what was done to their property, but just kind of changing a little bit to our tastes. But still very traditional.
Yeah.
All the colours, all the ways that would normally be done in this region.
So that is the new updated current plan for the outdoor steps. And whilst this is not on the critical path at all, no, I mean, they still work as stairs, they just don't look very nice. But because they don't look very nice, and because I like destroying things, I'm looking for a way that we can accelerate our plans to at least knock off the handrail, because we don't really hold on to it very much. It's actually quite low. It's not that useful as a handrail. And I think it would make quite a fun video to smash it to bits. Anyway, in addition to talking about the stairs, there were a few other things that came up when we were doing all the front door works recently. So let's answer some of those.
So, the question that got asked in a multitude of ways, and a couple not very nice ways, was why did we take out the door when the new door is not ready?
Good question.
Yeah, it's a good question. But the big reason is this isn't just a take out a door, put in a door project. There's a lot more to this than you might think. So, I was going to list off all the things that we need to do before we actually put the door in. But that would just ruin the surprise, wouldn't it? It's not as simple as just taking out the door and putting in a new door. If you saw when we took out the old door, there's nowhere to put a new door onto. We ruined all the bricks. So we have to make a new entranceway, and there's a whole load of complications that come with that, which is why we put this enclosure here, to keep it secure and weather tight and allow us to work on that entranceway even if it's raining, because we can stand inside that little enclosure and work and allow it to dry without getting wet.
Kind of relating to that, the question was, why didn't we do this and build this enclosure years ago? And that is an excellent question, and we definitely should have done that.
Yeah, we should have.
Because the doors that were there were horrible, they were very narrow, they were made of metal, so they got very hot in the summer and very cold in the winter. And I am a portly gentleman, and I struggled to fit through just one of those two opening doors, and it always used to annoy me. We did try a rainproof zip door covering temporary solution for a couple of winters. That was equally horrible and frustrating. And so yes, we definitely should have done something like this a long time ago, and we probably should have accelerated the plans for this whole front door project, but we put it off for a number of reasons. That being said, if we had just taken the door out and built this enclosure 2, 3, 4 years ago, it probably wouldn't have lasted that long in the weather. So we did this just before we were going to do the door project, because then this OSB probably will be able to be reused for something else.
So on the same topic of the enclosure, lots of people asked, are we going to weatherproof it, wrap it, paint it, whatever? We are not, because we're hoping to get this project done pretty fast. We have had exposed OSB on our kitchen shed for 5 years now. It's still functional. It has expanded a little bit, but this has got a really nice overhang. The weather doesn't tend to come from this side. So yeah, no, we're not going to do that. Hopefully the weather is going to also be good until the end of this project.
Let's hope so.
Fingers crossed. Hey, Wally? Fingers crossed, yeah.
The last question was about the new door, and are we going to put a window into it, because it would be a shame to block up the lovely view and the light. Well, the space up there behind the lovely OSB door that you can almost see in the background is a big open space. It's where the staircase is going to go, it's the room where the wood burner is, and there are 5 large windows in that space, and it's double height vaulted all the way up to the loft. There's even a skylight up there as well, so there's loads of light in that space. And so no, we're not going to be putting a window or a piece of glass or anything like that into the new front door. It will be a solid piece of wood. And so I think that is all the questions relating to the staircase, to the door, and to the current project that is in motion. If you have more questions, do let us know, stick them down in the comments, and we will try and get back to you, or we will include the answer in a future episode, because we've got a lot more to come on this front door series. We haven't shown it recently, but we have the door, we've been working on it. In fact, we were doing some work on it today, and it is looking fabulous. I'm better than I ever imagined, actually. And so do stay tuned for future episodes. Hit subscribe so you don't miss them. And you'll get to check out the new door very, very soon. Anyway, that's it from us for now. We'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, I think we just managed to get that in before the sun went down.
Yeah, time to light the fire.
Yes.